Welcome, friends. It is I, LostScarf, and it's time for another patch notes, and this time it is for Ravana. He is the red Ganondorf. That's the only joke I got. So, yeah, there you go. So, we're gonna go over voice packs, skins, announcer packs, all the fantasy point stuff. We're gonna go over God Bounce, which is only one God. A couple item bounces happened this patch. All the changes to the jungle, which is a lot of changes. And then finally, we're gonna go over Ravana. So, it should be a lot of fun to go over all this. So, let's get going. Alright, here we go. First up, we're going to talk about for a moment is the Smite Pro League. Now, they're doing a couple things going on here, but the only thing to show off right here right now is the Iron Crow Hou-Yi. There it is, Deathstroke with a bow. That's what he is right there, and watch out. They clap, he doesn't clap, and, well, there you go. We'll go over that in a little bit. And we got Ravana, which we'll go over in a moment. And he is kind of kung fu-y. Look at that. And then, Shoryuken! There you go. Now, I don't think he actually does that in the game. It'd be cool if he does, though. One more thing to show before we look at Ravana, and that is... Yep! Uncle Zeus wants you to not play him because he's still not that great in the game. Then there's Raw America with the fireworks. Oh, yeah. And it's a chest, though. It's a freaking chest. For America! Yay, capitalism! Yeah! I timed that pretty well there. Okay, Ravana, here we go. So, take a look at Ravana over here. There is your Ravana, and he looks pretty cool. He looks pretty badass. People are mad he doesn't have like 10 arms, but you know, that could be like a tier 2 skin, where he just has like 10 arms with their own physics, which would be hilarious. Over here is Bam Tyrant, or you never know, maybe they'll add effects to that later on or something. Let's hear his voice pack.
I am invincible.
Huh.
Attack middle lane completed. Enemies have returned. Enemy missing right.
Anyone else want a Kaiser Wilhelm skin for this guy? I do. It's because of the mustache. Or Out of on Bismarck. Both of them had bitchin' mustaches there, but this voice pack sounds appropriate to me.
Cold. Bravo.
This guy looks as gruff as he sounds, so that sounds pretty good to me. Let's go ahead and take a look over here at Tier 2 Alquang. No. Put D&D. Okay, so... we've got Alquang right here, the Dragon King. Looks like Cenarius in a way to me. And, yeah, sure, it's kind of cool. Not the biggest fan of this one. So there you go, Dragon King. Alright, so, before I show you Iron Hou-Yi, I'm going to show you two portraits, because they got changed. First up is going to be Mercury. Mercury's Quicksilver got changed right there to make it look cooler. I like the old one too, so it'd be nice if you could choose between portraits. It really would. And then the other portrait is Miss Diagnosis. And hi, Joe. There we go. Damn, that freaking portrait. Holy crap. And I don't think people are wrong in saying she looks a lot like Akali from League of Legends with her and her skin. They look very similar. They just do. Ugh. And then her model, people say they should update it a bit. And yeah, it's a pretty good looking skin. But yeah, I guess like the hair texture would be good, right? Now we can look at Iron Hou-Yi. So where's that Iron Ho? So this is Iron Hou-Yi, Iron Crow Hou-Yi. And what's here's voice pack?
I'm returning left lane.
Huh?
I'm returning to base. I'll attack the fire giant. Enemy missing. Gank middle lane.
So he's got a bit of a filter because he's got a helmet on.
I'm returning right gank middle lane. Well done indeed.
Some of his lines are very Deathstrokey.
I'll attack. Be careful.
Alright, so there you go. So how do you earn this guy? That's the next thing we should talk about. Now that we've talked about all the skins and stuff, minus Zeus, which we'll go over when we look at the chest. So let's talk about the Smite Pro League Season 2 ticket. So what's going on here is you earn points through your picks, which some of us have been doing. If you haven't bought one yet, what happens is you play the game after you buy this ticket, and every win you get earns you 15 fantasy points. You can also pick who you think will win in the Pro League stuff, and you get 20 points for single game matchups. Multi-game matchups give you 40 points. You pick which team you feel will win, or you can pick the split. That's what happens there. What's also going on is rewards. So, rewards are now going up to 8,000. There's going to be even more rewards later on. Iron Crow's at 7,000. Swaggy Announcer Pack at 6,000. Nox Announcer Pack at 5,000. And you get some free chest rolls as you go forward, and some other things. Void Worm at 3,000 still, and Executioner was at 1,000 still that as well. They also gave you the option of buying FP points with gems. 300 gems. let's do a little bit of math here. So, you get 15 points per win. You don't get any for losing, just for wins. Double check that right there. Yeah, you only get it for each win. So, how many points does everything take? Void Worm takes 200 wins. That's 15 times 200. That's it. You get to 3,000 with that. So, 200 wins, you get Void Worm. Or, you could spend 300, so it's for 500. So, that would be 1,800 gems to get Void Worm. That is quite a price right there. But if you just want the skin for that hefty price, you can do that. That is how much it goes. Now, if I wanted to buy Iron Crow, it would take me 2,700 gems from where I am right now. So the gems really add up after a bit, but this is an option for people who just can't play the game as much as other people can. But also, holy crap, how about I just buy this 600 gem skin for 600 gems? Holy crap! That is a lot of cost there, but that's what they're doing. It's a way for them to make money. So how much is this? So if you go by the base price of 400 gems for $8, it's about 50 gems is $1. So for $6, $1 goes into esports prize pool. That's what's happening there. So for every $6, you're getting up 500 points. So by doing that math, 6 times the 5 there, you're spending $30 to get Void Worm from the start, and so on and so forth for all these things. It's quite a moneymaker right there for Hi-Rez. It's just, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money. I got no problem not getting Iron Crow. Oh man, that is a lot. That is a lot of cost. If you don't have the time to put in, you really want that skin, I don't know. The only option you got is to buy gems, and I'm not the biggest fan of that personally. But the option is there. One last thing is to take a look at the roll I have, just out of curiosity. What did we win? We got Thunderhead, yay! We got a recolor I could have just bought with favor. Yeah, okay. Well, let's take a look at the Summer of Smite. Okay, so now we're going to look at Summer of Smite and then the Zeus. So what's going on here is Squidward. We got a Squiddle, so there's a Squidward, which we'll unlock in a moment. And later on is going to be Sandcastle Geb, Captain Kali, which these two will unlock the Mez Announcer Pack, and then finally getting Captain Kali will unlock on her. So that's what's going to happen there. Unless I get the order backwards, it's going to be Kali and then Sandcastle Geb. But one of those is going to come up as the 6th item, which will unlock Mez, and there you go. Now let's go ahead and buy Squidward. Now we got Squidward. There we go. War Skins Platinum. What? Because I own almost all the skins, I guess. Okay, so now we can go check out the roll. Wrong button there. Check out the roll over here. What do we get? And we get Agni Incinerator. It's not a bad skin, but it's a recolor. Like, I have the favor. I have the favor for this. Oh, geez. Now let's take a look at the Zeus. So, Zeus, Independence. So you got Ramerica. Uncle Zeus wants you. In the worst way possible, I am sure. Independence, Liberty, Athena. Diamond Sword, Ares. Wrangler, Artemis, because I guess they had to fill that out. And then Olympics. Yeah, no, that's not really because of the red, white, and blue, I guess. Olympic Honor? Well, you got to fill out that chest, I guess. 400 gems to unlock these things. And you got 20 days to do it. And there's going to be these 3 that I don't have. And yeah, the only one I'd care for is getting Uncle Zeus if he was viable right now, so I don't care about this chest at all. But if you care about this chest, there you go. 400 gems to unlock these 6 things. The specific one you want, well, your statistical chance of course 1 in 6. You want to buy everything in this chest. What's 6 times 4? 24. So, 2,400 gems to unlock everything in this chest. There you go. So there was only one nerf this week. One god was nerfed. And the question is, who was it? What dastardly god was so good that they had to get nerfed? But no, it was Bastet. Bastet's cat specifically. They got nerfed because Hog has been changed. And because of the way Hog got changed, her cats don't have a natural predator in the Hog. So, the HP of her cats has been reduced. You can't actually see how much it is, but it's 500, 550, 600, 650, and 700. So, they're going to be a bit easier to kill. They had 150 more HP previously. And they'll still be a threat, just not as much, because they'll just go down a little bit easier. Sometimes they survive with a little bit of HP and we're still a nuisance. Now they probably won't survive at all from certain situations. So we'll see how that plays out for Bastet. Now let's go ahead and talk about these items here. And there's quite a few. And Hog 3 will be the last one we go over, because it's the big one. So the items. There are 2 magical changes. First up is there's now penetration on the Shoes of Magi. The feeling here is it's going to bring mages back to the soul lane. It's going to make them viable again because of that 10 penetration on magical boot. And it will help. Mages are in the mid already. Now, solo lane, that's the question. Will it help them in solo lane? Well, warriors are going to be less viable there for other reasons, not because of mages, but this is what helped mages deal with warriors. The problem is hunters now exist in the solo lane, and this means nothing to hunters whatsoever. So, it's a nice buff for mages, but will it give them back to solo lane, or at least contend there? And it will help, but as long as hunters exist, not so much in my opinion. Other change for them is the Doom Orb. Now Doom Orb has stacks by kills, not by minions. And you get 10 per stack, you get 2 stacks per kill, and 1 stack for assist. You lose half those when you die, max 10. So 100 magical power, possible out of the stacks, but it's going to be hard to get there. And it's going to be hard to keep it, because you just get killed and you're going to get punished really hard. I don't know if it's viable anymore to even get this. Then you have the physical equivalent of Heartseeker, right here, with 6 plus per stack, 10 max, of course, so you got yourself 60 coming out of this thing. Is that viable? Probably not as much. So the feeling's going to be, well, with this nerf here, hunters aren't going to be as viable because they don't have Heartseeker. But the thing is, hunters are starting to experiment without Heartseeker and still doing extremely well in the solo lane. So they've already moved on before this point. So there's not going to be as much upheaval as you would think. So hunters will still have some effectiveness in the solo lane, and mid lane, and jungle, and duo lane. I'm talking about hunters quite a bit in this because, well, hunters are the big thing that have been in everyone's face, and they should still be in everyone's face with this. Magi's Blessing got nerfed a bit. It is now 100 gold more, and the passive is 90 seconds instead of 60 seconds for you to just ignore crowd control. At this point, it's probably more viable to just get the Spirit Robe. 15% cooldown gives you a lot of armor for physical and magical, and if you get hit with a hard CC, you have a 15% damage mitigation for 3 seconds. So that is pretty nice right there. That's pretty good. I'd rather get this than the Magi's, for sure. Twin size reduced in price by 200 gold. By just worth and efficiency and just stuff like that when it comes to gold price, probably still not worth getting. It's probably better off just getting freaking crits. Twin size was meant to be a good, alternative to crits, but it's not there because of the price. I really feel like that really hurt it when it comes to efficiency, so some people are going to get it. I just don't think it's still worth getting it. Now, the real nerf to hunters comes in the form of Sprint 3. Sprint 3 no longer ignores your basic attack slow. What happens is, when you're using basic attacks on people, regardless of what god you are, you slow down a little bit when you do that. Sprint 3 allowed you to ignore that, so you can speedily run around and shoot people. Now only Fatalist gives that passive. So, what's so great about it? Not much. For 6 seconds, you can move for 40% increase movement speed. You can ignore slows. But Heavenly Agility does the same thing every 90 seconds, though. And it's only for 5 seconds, because they nerfed it for 1 second because of the change to greater sprint. But you can give it to your whole team, and it also gives the ability to have 25% extra healing. And this item also ignores stuff like Weakening Curse, if you didn't know that. So Heavenly Agility is a really good choice. If you still want speed, go for that. Definitely go for that. And now the reason why Bastet's cats were nerfed is the Hog. And the reason why Hog got nerfed is because of jungle. We'll go over jungle soon enough. But here's what happened. Hog 1 only hits 1 target for 480 damage. 1 target. And is the highest HP target in the area. So if you're in a buff camp, it's going to hit the buff minion, basically. That's what happens there. Hog 2, 2 targets. Same idea. Fist does 3 targets. And it will do still the 1 second stun. Then there is Wrath of the Gods. Wrath of the Gods does 3 targets as well, but here's what happens. It only does 900 damage to the jungle bosses. That would be Gold Fury, Fire Giant, and in Siege, the Siege Juggernaut. That's the damage it does. It's no longer a guaranteed kill at yellow at the higher... we're too soon. The way it used to work was percentage-based. Like, once the objectives got to a certain threshold, you could just hit them with this and they're dead. Now it is 900 gold, regardless of how much HP they have at the time. So like late game, 900 is the only time to hit it. Yellow bar now happens at 900 HP to reflect that. But what they did here is they did it so that big ults can also contest the Gold Fury and Fire Giant. So that now you have to worry about big ults stealing it or confirming it before you can use a Hog on it to make Hog less used, I guess. I guess they felt like Hog was stale in some way with that one. And perhaps it was. Hog was used quite a bit. That was the big reason to use it, but there were other reasons to use it as well. Also, another note is if you use 2 hogs, the second will only do 50% damage, so you're only doing like 1350 combined. And so I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Not being able to confirm, not being able to steal as well as you could before. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing at all. I really don't. But the big side effect of this is what this does to 3 different roles. How does this affect the jungler? Well, the jungler will have less of a good clear, but the changes to jungle will reflect on why that is, because the jungle is weaker, so it's easier to kill the jungle, so that's why Hog is kind of weaker in that way, because it's just so easy to clear it now. So maybe Hog isn't so necessary for that. Then you have the support who uses Hog, and may still have to get Hog because of Wrath of the Gods for objectives. Maybe they won't because the ult damage on their team might be enough to do it instead. This really hurts them because they can't just clear out the archers in the back and go for an aggressive push, or clear out the melee in the front and just take out the archers and go for an aggressive push in duo lane. Also, they have to have Hog 2 right away if they want to get rid of the mids. They just aren't going to be as effective with Hog. And same thing goes for the jungle. Although the jungle is weaker, so maybe they'll be able to beat it down. Who knows? But definitely support with Hog. It's maybe not as much of an option. And then finally is solo lane with Hog. And solo lane was warriors and some assassins. Warriors really needed Hog. They need a lot. Sun Wukong loves Hog. Guan Yu to an extent loves Hog. Tyr to an extent loves Hog. Like, certain warriors really like to use Hog, and now it's not viable for them. So we'll see how they're affected in the lane there, and it will help mages deal with them. It also helps hunters deal with warriors as well, because warriors, because they're tankiest, could hang around against a hunter, but now that they can't clear minions as well, they're going to have to contend with hunters a bit more. And hunters don't even use Hogs, so it's really a big hit to the warriors in the solo lane, so ouch for them right there. So now you're going to see why Hog was changed when we look at the jungle in a moment. Okay, I'm going to now show you the new jungle, and most of the change is just that the jungle is weaker, while also coming up a bit more often for more farming. We're just going to talk about things that are reflected in that besides, well, Hog, although I probably should have bought one to show it, but Hog is pretty straightforward what it does, and I can say what it would do as well. But first up is the Mid-Furies are back, and here they are. Bam. Hit them. Now the Mid-Furies give less XP, and they also have a little bit less HP as well. They give 110 now. They used to give more than that, so their camp is worth 220. Now, speed buff and red buff, these are the same as far as respawn times go. Oh yeah, the Mid-Furies is still 3 minutes. These guys, they do less damage now, and they have less HP, so they go down a bit easier. And if you had Hog, the Hog would attack this guy first. If you only had Hog 1, it would do a bunch of damage to him, take him to about half HP, and then you have to finish off the rest. These guys respawn this year. Speed and reds respawn every 4 minutes. Blue and purple now respawn every 3 minutes. There's been no change to them, though, besides just the fact that they do less damage and also have less HP. Accidentally missed that one. That's really the only change going on there. Just killing them so you can see the XP and gold, seeing that it's not been changed for that. But the small harpies have been changed. The big one gives 110, while the smaller ones give a little bit more XP now. This camp is worth 190 combined. I did not mention what the buff camps are worth. The buff camps are worth 229. So, here's your things. You got the mid camp at 10 seconds, worth 220 XP. You got the buff camps, also 10 seconds, worth 229 XP. And then you got the small camps worth 190 XP. So what's going on here is, the question is, do you want to fight over the mids or just go for your buff camp, considering that the buff camps are actually worth more than the mids? Of course, though, as whoever does this is going to move on to the next things that they want to do. Which gives me a thought that if the enemy team's going for the mids, maybe I should steal their blue then. That might be a good idea. Or steal their speed. If they're going to focus here, you can take this and then go back to your side really quick and just get to farm it. But that's all the camp changes. Oh, also, the small camps, 80-second respawn instead of 100-second respawn. Now for the Gold Fury. The Gold Fury now gives 50% reduction to lifesteal, so when you're hitting it, it has less. It also shows numbers how much HP it has, which is pretty cool right there. Because, like I said before, Hog 3 only does 900 HP. But here's something about the Gold Fury. She goes through pillars now. Like, get over here. She goes right through it. She gets rid of it. You can no longer body block with walls now. Gold Fury and Fire Giant both get 50% reduction on lifesteal, so you can't soul them as easily. Not a bad idea there. Like I said before with Hog 3, like it does less damage now, which is why it's a good thing they show the HP. So, as a team, if you for some reason have 2 Hogs, you see that it goes down to 1350. You can consider using double hog to kill it if you both have hog 3. That is a strategy that could be employed in the future. Gold Fury gives more gold over time. So right now she gives about 100, and I can't remember how much XP she gives, but over time she'll give more gold and more XP over time if you kill her later in the match. That's what happens there. Another thing is gold worth is lessened for kills earlier now. So earlier levels give less gold. No, not gold. They give less XP. They give the same amount of gold. Later kills will be worth conceivably more XP. But what they're doing is they're trying to slow down the snowball at the start of the game. Like getting a bunch of kills earlier on will not reward as much as it used to, so that you can't snowball as hard, is the idea there. And the last thing to talk about is wards. You can now only place 2 wards at a time. So here's a ward. And when you place a ward, it shows up for 1 second on the map, so everyone knows where the hell this thing is. So they know where your wards are, so there's no more just considering where wards are. If you pay attention to the minimap, you know where they are. I'm going to go back to base and buy another ward to show you how that's going right there. Let's go ahead and get the actives so we can get Sprint 3 to show that off, and then we can get Hog 2 to show that off. And Sprint over, see, now I'm doing my basic attacks, you see I'm getting slowed down, so Sprint not as useful. Oh, I wanted to go buy a ward, my bad. Getting a ward. Just want to show that I cannot place 3 at once. Also, Sentry Wards have bigger range, so I can show that off as well. Sentries also, not sentries, wards in general also give gold bounties. If you kill someone's ward, you get 50 gold. So basically, killing someone's ward allows you to buy another ward. So ward hunting might be a thing in a way. You get rewarded for it. It just basically makes it that you are spending less on a sentry ward if you replace an enemy's place with your ward. Now we can put this down to show the range on it. That got rid of that one. And they just have different ranges. And it's just only 2 wards. It really hurts the support a lot. There's a lot of things that just hurt the support in this way. And I don't know. I'm really worried about supports right now and how much they're getting hit by just the warding and then hog. And it just doesn't feel good to be a support to me. It hits those 2. And how much HP it took away. And now this guy goes down. And so junglers can consider not even having hog. Certain junglers will be able to pull it off while other ones might still want to get hog. Who knows what's the best way to go about it. And that's everything. My thing, though, is because the jungle camps spawn more often, and then they're not as hard to kill anymore. What does that do? Well, one is it allows everyone to farm a little bit easier. And also because these come up more often, you could have the mid come here a little bit more, and they can share with you a little bit more on that one if you're the jungler. Junglers farm more. Junglers might want to just farm more because kills are rewarded less. Of course, the side effect of killing is making sure your enemy can't farm as much because they're dead, so that's still something worth doing, but you don't gain as much from the kills. And then the thought is double jungle. I know people are experimenting with double jungle. I know Cred is. And I'm curious to experiment with it as well. If double jungle works out, that's going to be pretty crazy, and it might be worth trying out, so we'll see all about that. Time for Ravana. Here's the thing I find curious. Okay, some people pronounce the A at the end of Hindu names, some people don't. So you got to mix it both. You got Vamana.
Lil Mana.
He says the Mana. Apparently it's supposed to be Vaman, I guess? And then you got Rama who says Ram. Maybe you hear the A at the end. And then you got Ravana who says Ravan.
Ravan.
Now, doesn't Rama say Ravana in his lines? I'm pretty sure. So it's a bit interesting hearing the different pronunciations. It's kind of curious. And let's get going. Checking to see something. Okay, good. It's not on her again. Would have been hilarious if it was on her again. So we're going to take a look at Ravana, or Ravan. Probably just going to call him Red Ganondorf. Yeah, we're going with Ganondorf. Yeah, here we go. Ravanadorf. No, this joke's going to stick.
Pleasure in the crushing of one's enemies.
Alright, so let's go hit level 5. So, here's how his stuff works. Now, first up is his passive, which has to do with his 1. So the way this works is when you're landing basic attacks, if you get a basic attack within 5 seconds, you add to a combo chain. So let's go hit some minions to show that out. And this combo chain will make his 1 better. I should actually just get at least Tavi. There we go. So, it builds up, and what happens is each chain goes 7.5% damage increase to his 1, up to 60%, which would use 8. So what you can do is, you would do this, you would hit these guys, you build it up, there you go, now it's up to 8, so do my 1, there you go, does a bunch of damage there. I can try to build this up again. And there you go, and then I use it again. Ah, there you go. And I'd have to build up to 8 again for that to count. Now this is all going to go down once the time goes away. So there you go. So that's his passive. Just increase damage to his 1. That's it. It just really works on the 1. Now his 1 instant casts. This is an instant cast. You hit 1, you can't think about where your range is on that, you just hit 1. It's about just meleeing people hard with it. Now what this does is it slows, and it also just does damage. You can do it often, because you can do it every 6 seconds with cooldown, even shorter than that. Then there's this too, overhead kick. Now this goes through everything it hits. What's interesting about this is it's kind of like a Chunga 2 dance, but you're not CC immune. You can still be CC during this, but you do not take damage. So that's pretty good though. So you can go ahead and throw this out there. Bam! It's not a very big range. There's the attack right there. You can try to use that to just clear minions, although you also have your 1 for that. So bam. And here's your 3 as well. Now your 3 is another skill shot, not the longest skill shot. It goes through minions and it stops at the first god it hits. The first god it hits is rooted. And it also returns you a percentage of health depending on the damage dealt for a god and up to 3 minions. So I'm a bit beat up, so here we go. And bam, I heal a little bit, not a lot because it's only the first level. That's how that is right there. That's his 3. So then there's his ultimate, which can only be used on gods. And it is a targeted thing. And this is Mystic Rush. This is why they call him Ganondorf. Because he rushes at someone like Ganondorf, then hits them. And they take damage. And he takes reduced damage to their teammates. So what's going on is if you attack someone in a team with this, the enemy you target will do full damage to you, but their teammates can only do 40% reduced damage to you. So you can run into a group to try to kill someone, like a high target. Like, say, you got an enemy target with a full Doom Orb or Heartseeker, go in there, try to kill them. So like such. Bam! Run in there. Dodge his ult. There you go. I did not take any damage from his ult right there because I used my 2. So that's the idea there. Ravana is supposed to be able to just go in there and beat someone to death. The only problem with that is, after you go in and kill somebody, their teammates are gonna kill you because you have no form of escape. Like, you got what, your 2? Like, this'll save you? Not really. There's gonna be a guardian there probably, so you're gonna die. So it's really weird having this go in there and kill somebody thing and then ignore their teammates for a little bit kind of setup there. Of course, what does work out is if you... What the hell, bro? If you just go specifically for someone in a 1v1 fight, you might be alright. It's just if you're fighting them in groups, you might be in trouble there. That's really the concern there. I should have rooted him to show the effect on that one. What's crazy is his attack chain. We'll just get some attack speed to show it off. Just, get all the attack speed. There you go. Look how fast this is. His attack chain looks pretty damn fast. Whoop. So that's why people are saying, like, maybe queen size on him, which is why they reduced the price on it, so you can consider using that. And then here's the root right here in a second. There's the root. He's just rooted there by the hands, and punch him. And done. There. Okay, so there you go. And that's everything. We're going to do the ult one more time just to show it, but that's everything from here. See all the jokes?
You know how 2 heads are better than 1? Well, I've got 10.
What's weird is you don't get to see those heads, which would have been very interesting if they did something with the heads.
You know what they say. Many hands make light work.
He's got 10 hands.
My sister is so ugly. Well, she's just really ugly.
What the hell? Who's his sister?
You know how 2 heads are better than 1? Well, I've got 10.
Somebody tell me who his sister is, because I got no idea. Taunts?
Why do you persist when you know it is pointless? Don't expect me to wish you health and long life. You will have neither.
Nice.
I stopped the very sun and moon in the sky. You should be no problem. Why do you persist when you know it is pointless?
So I like how aggressive this guy is. I really like how aggressive he is. He's pretty cool in that way. And let's just go hit Rob one more time. Hi! Boom. Just go over there. Just rushes at him. Just beat him up and he's dead. There you go. I don't know where he's going to work out. Like, you can clear using his 2 and his 3, even his 1 if you have to. His mana costs are not too bad. I don't know. People will try to solo him. Maybe it'll work out. People will try to jungle him. Maybe it'll work out. I think probably jungle's the best place to put him. But you might want to try him in solos, though. But because the way Hog is now, I don't know how good that'll be. But there you go. That right there is the guy we talked about a lot of things for a lot of time. There's just so much to go over here. And we went over all of it. So there you go. Hope you found it informative and interesting. A lot of things going on there. Just a lot to talk about there. And in the coming weeks, we will see plenty of jungle videos coming out, just testing out the jungle, and also this new solo, how that'll work out. And of course, for Ravana as well. So there you go, that right there is the patch video. I had fun making it, I had fun watching. That's what's all about, isn't it? Having fun, thanks for coming by, and see you next time. Dial kick!